I knew something like this would eventually happen. It's time for you to put me in, Warner Brothers. When do I get to be surrounded by wieners? Hello movie fans, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. I really did not want to make another video addressing some celebrities' personal business, gossiping around like I'm TMZ. But doing it 2 days in a row now. Welcome to 3CZ. Some of the things we're going to be talking about here today is I'm going to be giving you my reaction and review for the first 4 episodes of Moonknight since I have seen them. Plus looking at some of the mixed reactions to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, along with some of the comments that they've made about the future of the franchise. And of course the Ezra Miller situation about them getting arrested and how that could affect the Flash movie and other upcoming projects. So be sure you guys to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today and where do you fall on some of these stories. Alright, so the first thing I want to dive into here today is, yes, I was given the chance to be able to watch the first 4 episodes of Moonknight. I was honestly a little surprised Marvel gave us 4 episodes to watch ahead of time, because usually they only give us like 1 or 2 episodes and then we have to watch the rest of the series with you guys. So having seen these 4 episodes now, I do want to say I like what Marvel's doing here. I am enjoying the show thus far. I'm not someone who's super familiar with the character of Moonknight. It was never somebody that caught my attention or that I wanted to explore more of. But of course, like anybody else, when you hear Marvel's going to be making a live-action Disney Plus series on it, you do a little bit of your homework researching the character. And this is definitely going to be a situation where if you're a diehard Moonknight fan or you're someone who's done a bunch of research on the character lately, you might want to go ahead and kind of tame your expectations, because Marvel is definitely wanting to do something different here. They've made some big changes to the character as opposed from where it comes to the comics, and I'm kind of curious how the general public is going to take it, because while I found the storyline that Moonknight had very intriguing for these 4 episodes, it feels very Indiana Jones-like, or sort of like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, where you are diving into Egyptian artifacts, trying to uncover a mystery, going into tombs and whatnot. And Oscar Isaac, of course, shines in the role as Moonknight. This man is amazing. The way Oscar Isaac is able to switch on and off from his multiple personalities, because if you didn't know, Moonknight is a character with multiple personas, I thought was really well handled, even if you might have to get used to the British accent Oscar Isaac uses in here. But I think people are really going to fall in love with those personas, especially Stephen Grant. He's your down on your luck kind of guy, works for a museum, everybody pushes him around, and then one day he discovers he has this whole other personality and superpowers. It was really clever of them to kind of tell the story through the eyes of Stephen Grant, while we're also the audience in his eyes, like what is going on, what's happening here, and they're slowly unraveling the mystery. So like I said, I'm enjoying the show and I'm liking it, and that might be because I was able to binge 4 episodes in a row. But on the negative side of things, I don't know how the general audience is going to take this. I think one of the reasons I was really able to enjoy Moonknight is because I did a lot of research on the characters. I found out a little bit about what makes him tick, and through that background knowledge I studied, even though they changed it up for the show, I was able to kind of keep up with it and understand what they're hinting at and what's going on in this larger universe. But I think general audiences are going to have a hard time following exactly what's going on here and the explanation of Moonknight's powers, because it's not very well detailed. It also doesn't help that he doesn't actually become Moonknight very often in the show, and I really had to sit back and think. I'm watching 4 weeks worth of television right now. I think people are going to be a little frustrated with how much they're holding back each episode because of this mystery factor they got going on. It kind of started to give me flashbacks of WandaVision. You remember how much mystery that show had, and then they just decided to reveal all of it in like the last 30 minutes of the final episode, and you're like, what? I'm afraid that's where it's headed, but hopefully these next 2 episodes, they kind of pick up the pace, because there's only 2 episodes left from what I saw, and I'm like, you got a lot going on here. How are you going to wrap this up? There's also been a lot of talk whether this show is going to be very mature or adultish, and while it does have those factors, like there is more blood in here than you have probably seen in any other MCU movie or TV show, it still feels very censored and Disney-fied, if that makes sense. Nowhere near the level to what Daredevil, Punisher, or those shows had in terms of maturity. There's other things I want to mention and explore more, but I'll mention those in spoilers once we do recaps of each episode coming out. So to wrap it up, I am enjoying the show. I like the mystery going on. I think Oscar Isaac is doing great. I'm just worried this won't be a show for everybody. Let me know if you guys are excited for Moonknight and if you're going to be coming back here to watch some recap videos. Alright, moving on to the next topic here. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is very quickly approaching us, being released in theaters very soon, and the embargo for reviews has lifted where the movie currently sits at 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now granted, I do want to go ahead and let you guys know this is only 11 reviews so far, but there have been pretty mixed reactions about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. There's a lot of people praising that it is fun, colorful, that kids are really going to enjoy it. Jim Carrey is of course doing his best, but then there's the other side of it where people are criticizing the movie. Some of the common things they say is that the movie is too long, that they feel the length with this being 2 hours. Others were saying that all it has going for it is just the colorful atmosphere and fun characters, that the story is very lacking. And probably the negative that I just can't see myself agreeing with is that they focus too much on the CGI characters over the humans. Alright, that's where I'm gonna need to smack you upside the head. Keep my hedgehog out of your mouth. Now, everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course, and I have yet to see the movie. I'm seeing it this weekend, so I'll have an early review out for you guys, but I'm so surprised that people are being kind of this harsh on the movie, because from everything I've been seeing, from the trailers, the teaser spots, everything just looks absolutely amazing with this film. Like, it looks like so much fun. The visual effects look absolutely stunning. Jim Carrey looks to be having a blast. It looks way more improved from the first film. I'm curious to what these story beats, or what are some of the surprises in this movie that have people kind of turned off on it. Maybe this is a situation where it's a lot of Sonic lore and really pandering to fans of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then people who aren't really fans of Sonic are just kind of not really getting into it that much. Because I was seeing some words being thrown around like fan service. But it looks like Sonic 2 might be one of those movies where critics just don't like it all that much, but audiences will. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Moving away from some of those reviews though, we have gotten other updates about the future of the franchise from director Jeff Fowler. One where we already know it's confirmed that we're gonna get Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and a spin-off Knuckles TV series. He went ahead and opened up to what we can expect from the third game, and he was mentioning that from this point on, the movies won't necessarily follow the order of the video games. Saying exactly, it's not always going to be a linear progression of like, oh, this was in Sonic 2, so it's going to be in the Sonic 2 film. It's going to be a little bit of a cherry picking, a little bit of melting pot. There's so much great inspiring imagery to pull from 30 years of games. So if we didn't get it in one film, there's always a chance that we'll revisit it somewhere else. And you know what? I completely agree, and I applaud Jeff Fowler for having this mindset for the future of the movies. Heck, he's even doing it right now with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I remember when they announced, or there was rumors going around that Knuckles would appear in the second movie, I had tons of comments from Sonic fans saying, that's ridiculous, that's crazy. Knuckles doesn't show up till Sonic 3, the video game, Chris, so he can't show up in Sonic 2. And then we got those trailers and those TV spots and those awesome moments, and I have not gotten those complaints anymore. So I think it makes sense for Jeff Fowler to look at all the library of Sonic games, pick out the best story elements that come from them, and try to create a good next movie, instead of going like, okay, what happened in the Sonic 3 video game? We already did Knuckles, we can't do him again. Even later mentions on in this article that video game levels from the first Sonic video game are in the second Sonic movie. To me, this is really exciting. It just kind of bums me out a little bit with some of the mixed reactions to Sonic 2, because I was really kind of hoping Sonic 2 would be the Spider-Man 2 of video game movies, where that's like the top tier, that's what you reach for, and everyone else is climbing. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the first Sonic movie right now is considered the best video game movie out there, unless somebody can give me another one. But that is just what's going on in the Sonic universe right now. I can't wait to see what the post-credits scene is, because in this article they do mention it sets up a character for the future. I really wonder who that could be, but I throw it off to you guys. If you're a Sonic fan, what video game stories or video games would you like them to pull from for the next movie? And how do you feel about some of these mixed reactions to Sonic? Do you think there's a reason why some people aren't loving it? And literally when I was seconds away from uploading today's Side Flick, more juicy news pops up, so let's keep talking. We just got reports coming in that it looks like we will be getting a Pennywise prequel coming to HBO Max. Now this news is coming to us from The Ankler, which is not a website I have heard of before, but all these other more professional websites have picked up the story, so it must be credible. And they have it here written, our hot story this morning, the Transom has learned that HBO Max is developing an It prequel series that is tentatively titled Welcome to Derry. The series will likely explore the origin story of Pennywise the Clown, as well as the dawn of the 27-year-old curse that haunts the small small Maine town. And it's about time we've heard about more Pennywise news, because there's always been rumblings that we were gonna get more Pennywise in our lives. And that should really be no surprise, because the It movies make bank at the box office, and these are rated R horror movies, which is really rare. So for the longest time we heard that there was a prequel coming in the works, but we all thought it was gonna be a movie, especially since it was something that was hinted at in It Chapter 2, where you see photos of Pennywise when he was first in Derry. And well, with the streaming wars going on and every studio doing their best to try and get people invested into their streaming service, I guess Warner Brothers thought, let's not make it a movie, let's make it a TV series instead and go full rated R. And while yes, maybe I would have rather have preferred a movie, I don't think this is a bad idea. I think there was a lot of potential for some greatness in here. I just wonder again, will they get Bill Skarsgård to return as Pennywise the Clown? Will he even be a clown for the series? Because this will be his origin of him coming to Earth. So we're gonna see him take on a human form, why he decides to pick a clown as his torment of choice, and then will each season fast forward 27 years later into the future every time he gets defeated? Like, there's really something cool you could do here. So you know what? I'm all up for this. They went full bloody with Peacemaker, so I can only imagine what they'll do with Pennywise. So I think this is a great idea, and hopefully we get updates on this sooner rather than later. How do you guys feel about Pennywise getting a prequel series headed to HBO Max? One other thing that happened right off the bat before I uploaded today's side flick that I wanted to talk about is we got the villain announced for the upcoming Blue Beetle movie. This is a movie I can't wait to see, and the villain here is going to be played by Sharon Stone, which all I can think about every time I say her name is...
Because let's face it, Sydney, your mother was no Sharon Stone.
But she has been casted to play the role of Victoria Cord in Blue Beetle. Now, some of my diehard comic book fans and knowers of Blue Beetle should kind of be losing their minds right now, because that last name Cord is very important to the Blue Beetle name. Now, just to bring you up to speed why this is kind of exciting is Jaime Reyes, who Solo Maridueña is going to be playing in the Blue Beetle movie, is not the first person to don the Blue Beetle name and be that superhero. There was someone else prior to him known as Ted Cord. And the interesting thing about Ted Cord is that he was someone who didn't let the Blue Beetle scarab actually attach to his body. Instead, he just used the technology and the energy coming off the scarab and then manipulated that into creating his own tech and weapons so that he could fight crime, not only becoming Blue Beetle, but also growing his business empire of Cord Enterprises. So with this new character created, Victoria Cord, it could be the wife of Ted Cord, maybe the daughter, a sister, some relative of Ted Cord, and once she finds out that this teenage kid is running around with the technology that her relative once had, she most likely wants it back. That's just a theory based off my Blue Beetle knowledge, but I am just growing more and more excited for this movie. How are you guys feeling about Sharon Stone playing the character of Victoria Cord, and how do you think her character plays into the movie? Now moving on to the Ezra Miller situation, and again, I just want to re-emphasize, I don't like to go ahead and talk about gossip or other people's business, but in cases like this directly goes ahead and affects the upcoming Flash movie and even the Fantastic Beasts 3 movie, and that's the angle I'm going to try and stick with. So with that said, it was reported last night that Ezra Miller was actually arrested in Hawaii Sunday, and the report says that Ezra Miller was arrested for disorderly conduct, specifically that he was at a bar having a lot of drinks, and then when one person went up to do karaoke, Ezra Miller decided to grab the mic away from them and then throw it at another person playing darts. This on top of the bar owner having to tell Ezra Miller multiple times to calm down and to behave. And look, this is kind of crazy because Ezra Miller as an actor, I really respect his work. And if you've been watching this channel, you know I'm someone who's championing the upcoming Flash movie, even though there's a lot of fan debate that they're gonna go ahead and erase the Snyderverse and people hate it already for that fact. I'm excited for that movie and I'm hoping Ezra succeeds in that role. But this is now like the third time that Ezra Miller has been caught in an aggressive situation where they have been attacking another person. To me, it definitely feels like a cry for help and that someone should be looking after Ezra right now. We don't know what's going on with their lives or what's happening behind the scenes, or for something like this to happen multiple times, it doesn't look like it's gonna stop, and it's only a matter of time before they accidentally do something they would really regret and get them in way more trouble. But do I think Warner Brothers is actually gonna do anything about this situation? Sadly, no. Warner Brothers has just shown time and time again that they really like to cherry pick what battles they fight. Even looking on the side of things with the Fantastic Beasts movies, like that is one movie that is getting so much controversy just being thrown at it left and right. We start off with J.K. Rowling and the controversies behind her, so they removed her name from the poster, which I think this is like the first Harry Potter movie that doesn't have J.K. Rowling's name on it. Then you had the controversy with Johnny Depp, so they had to replace that role in the film, and now Ezra Miller too? Fantastic Beasts seems like a curse first place. So to me, this right now will be a situation that Warner Brothers ignores, doesn't pay any mind to it, doesn't even do anything publicly. Maybe behind the scenes, they will seek out Ezra Miller and say, yo, do you need some help? What can we do for you so you don't lash out this way? Because this Flash movie isn't just important to set up a brand new superhero, it's basically important to reset their entire DC universe, as we've heard. The repercussions of the Flash movie are going to create a whole new universe where they can go ahead and make all these other kinds of movies. And now that the film's been pushed back to 2023, I think they're going to keep a sharp eye on Ezra Miller. So Ezra Miller's not going to get replaced. They'll just have them make an apology if there becomes too much public outcry. But knowing Warner Brothers and their past history of how they deal with controversies and stuff like this, they're gonna ignore it. But I really would like to hear from you guys. You see this is happening over and over with Ezra Miller. There's a pattern going on here. If you were the CEO of Warner Brothers, how would you handle this situation? What would you think the best course of action is? Really curious to hear your guys' opinions. Just let's try to keep it respectful. But that is all the movie news we currently got going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Hopefully some more news picks up soon and we can get talking about some of the more funner things instead of gossip. But until then, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.